The Devil All the Time just hit Netflix. Overall, I'll say this movie is crazy, but I did enjoy it. Let's get into it. The Devil All the Time is an American psychological thriller. This movie is based off of a book and is directed by Antonio Campos. The film stars Tom Holland, Robert Pattinson, Bill Skarsgard, Sebastian Stan, and Riley Keough. The plot of The Devil All the Time is sinister characters converge around a young man devoted to protecting those he loves in a post-war backwards town teeming with corruption and brutality. So the movie starts out with Billy Skarsgard's character. He just got back from the war, and his character, Willie Russell, is definitely haunted by the war. He stops in a town where he meets a waitress that he immediately knows he wants to get married. We then see later that his character returns to this town, and the two do get married, and they have a son named Arvin, who is later played by Tom Holland. That's probably all I'll get to as far as the plot of this movie, because I don't want to give too much away. This movie definitely has a lot of twists and turns that I think it's best not knowing too much going into it. I will say this movie to me, reminds me of a bunch of short stories all centered around these two towns, and you'll slowly see a lot of the stories connect. So definitely a ton of different characters. It seems like a lot of their stories revolve around religion, and we see these characters use religion to justify their actions, whether that's good or bad. So this movie definitely has a lot of twisted characters, characters that start off nice, end up going crazy later, and it's kind of like a lot of these characters, it's kind of one of those, the lesser of two evils. So a lot of these characters are definitely evil, but some are just a little bit more kind of twisted and evil than others. I think that's part of the entertainment part of this movie, is getting to know all these characters and to see how far they're willing to go to get what they want. So what did I like about this movie? First, I got to give it up to the cast. I think the cast is going to be the main selling point of this movie. We just have a great cast, from Tom Holland, Robert Pattinson, Billy Skarsgard, to all the rest of the cast. I think they all did a really good job in this movie. That movie's definitely a serious movie and twisted, and there's not really so much humor in there. But I think all these characters did a really good job as far as acting and bringing all these emotions to these roles. I really enjoyed Tom Holland in the movie. I thought he did a great job acting. I'm so used to him from Spider-Man and the Avengers, where he's playing this upbeat superhero. So in this movie, he's definitely damaged, and just he's very protective of his family, and it's a much more serious role for him, and I think he did a great job as far as acting in this movie. Also, Robert Pattinson, I think he did a good job in this movie as well. His character is definitely shocking when you first meet him, because he has a high-pitched southern accent, and it's just kind of shocking when you hear it the first time, and he plays a reverend in the movie, and he's definitely a creep, and I think he did a good job selling a creep, so it's definitely way different than like his Twilight days. Also, Billy Skarsgard, his character, he did a good job as far as acting as well. He kind of goes through a bunch of different stuff, and you just kind of see him lose it a little bit, and I don't know. Overall, I did enjoy his performance as well. I think he did a good job acting. But like I said, overall, the whole cast did a good job acting. So I will say I enjoyed Tom Holland's character, Arvin, the most. He's definitely the character I feel like you root for the most in the movie. His character ultimately, I think, is a good character, but he's just willing to do what he has to do to protect his family. There's a part in the movie where his character runs into another set of characters, and you kind of see there's two characters cross paths, and when that happened, I will say I was definitely really into this movie, and I was on the edge of my seat. You'll definitely know that moment when it happens, but I'll just leave it at that. But yeah, that's when this movie was really, really working for me. This movie definitely has a lot of twists and turns, and there's definitely more than one shocking moment. There's at least 3 shocking moments that I'm like, whoa, I can't believe I just saw that. And this movie definitely kind of takes you on a journey. You kind of meet all these different characters, and each story kind of leads to the next story. So it just kind of seeing it all come full circle was really cool. So what didn't I like about this movie? First, I would say this movie definitely is not going to be for everyone. This movie is rated R, but there's definitely some really intense scenes in this movie. Definitely very, very graphic and disturbing images. You'll know them when you see them, because they definitely are pretty disturbing. For me, I know this is a movie I could watch it and I'm okay with it. Other people are not going to be okay with it, and if you don't like blood and just disgusting stuff, then this movie's probably not going to be for you. Definitely don't recommend watching this movie with kids at all as well, just because it definitely has some disturbing moments in there, and it's overall more of a depressing movie. It's not a happy movie at all. More disturbing kind of movie. Also, the story format and how we get introduced to so many characters in this movie, but you don't spend a lot of time with some of the characters. Some of the characters, you only see them for about 20 minutes, but you get this backstory of just so many different characters that some of them I just didn't really care about. When they died, I didn't care. So, because I wasn't emotionally invested in some of these characters, just because we had so many. Even Tom Holland, I would say he's going to be the main character of this movie, but because there's so many other characters and so much backstory, we don't even see Tom Holland on screen till like halfway through the movie. So I think I would have enjoyed to see him a little bit more in this movie, because I really enjoyed his performance in the movie, and I liked his character the most. So I wish I would have got to see a little bit more of him. But overall, I would say this was a good movie, and I did enjoy myself. I would say if I had to give this movie on a scale of 1 to 5, 1 being the worst, 5 being the best, I probably would give it a 3.25. And yeah, I would say if you have Netflix, I definitely recommend checking it out. And if you do check it out, let me know what you think. Did you like the movie? Also, did you read the book? I know there's a book on this movie as well. And just, yeah, let me know what you think of the movie. And if you like this video, please subscribe to the channel. And also, again, like this video. And thank you so much for watching.